Today maybe I just thought that just to share that so Vajrayana math simple, no. So today that what we'll have is that I will just talk about that importance of the Vajrayana practice, the importance of that we call the Samaya. Samaya is the mainly the Vajrayana, the rules. Because this time that I just want to think that the one thing that sometimes these people lots of getting the confused with the Samaya, mainly especially that Vajrayana, the practice, when it creates a lot of the misunderstanding and the confusion of the Samaya. So that's why I will throw some of the lights regarding about Samaya and the Vajrayana rules. Normally in the Vajrayana, the rules is something like that they are the rules. So now the question comes to what happens if you break the rules? No? That is the one question always comes. So normally in the text, many texts, it will say that if you break the rules, you will born in the hell. Like that, they will always say it's like that you will born in the hell. But I don't think that is the something really. I don't think that is the something really. It happens like that, because it is sometimes that when you break the one rule, if you're going to born in the hell, then if you keep the one rule, you should born in the pure land. So that's why that is something like. But the one important thing is that when you break the rules, what really affects is that your practice will not go smooth. It will get some big obstacle when you're breaking the rules, because whatever the Dharma practice or whatever the general practice, important is the very rules. Like example, when you're waking up at the 6 a.m. morning, that's a self rule. You just say, "Oh, I will wake up every morning 6 a.m." That's a self routine or self rule. And once you have not such a self-rule, once you're self-punctuals or some of the self-discipline, not very well self-discipline, you cannot achieve anything. The self-discipline is very important. Even when you're working in the office, you need a very proper self-discipline. You should reach the office on time, or you would walk very the time that what you have to start the work and you have to finish the work. So same thing like that. It is like a disciplines or the rule. Vajrayana Samaya is a rules of discipline. So these are the rules of disciplines are very much important to improve your practice. Okay, that is the number one thing. Okay, and the second thing is the Vajrayana rules. It talks about the like an example that I will give the one example that in the Vajrayana Samaya rule, it gives a very important space for the master and the spiritual friends. Okay. This is the very important, because they make such a rule that the relation, no, how you keep the relation with the master, how you keep the relation with the spiritual friends, that is a very important, because the Dharma practice or that improvement is a very much depends on the environment. So whenever you do the Dharma practice and if you need a good environment, so you need what are good rules in the community, no, they should be the one good rules. So that's why the Vajrayana some rule, it's saying that like you cannot criticize your spiritual friend. No? Criticize is something like the baseless criticize. Okay, baseless criticize. You cannot do the baseless criticize your spiritual friends. Spiritual friend, then if you started to criticize only your spiritual friend, then they won't be any harmony in the community. So that's why they make such a rule. Now the Vajrayana rules are like that. Then also saying that the masters, masters and the rules. These rules are important since that in the general and normal in the master and the student relation, especially in the Dharma, it's a very important. Two things are very important. Number one is the master should have the very strong compassion toward the student. Student should have the very good understanding of the master. These two are very important. But we keep this relation. Student have a very good understanding of the master, and the master should have a compassion toward the student. These two are very important. Normally, this only not in the masters, the student relation, every relation. Understanding and the compassion is very important. Understanding is that you can understand anyone if you really want. But most of the time, we don't want to understand others. We just want others to understand you. That's what we do. Everyone, you will tell that you cannot understand me. You cannot understand me. Because you want others to understand you. You don't want to understand others. So that's why that's why it's saying that the student can easier to understand the master. because the more of them student listen more to the master. So master side is a more easier to generate the compassion to students. So these two qualities are very important. So that's why the things should be developed in every of the family. It's a very important compassion and understanding, that you can learn how to understand the other. So that's why I always say the very easy thing, and listen more, then you can understand the better with the other. Okay, listen more and yeah. So that is the one important, the very important thing. So now you look at the Samaya. Samaya in the Vajrayana, they talks about the 14 downfall. 14 downfall means a 14 very heavy, the rules. In the Vajrayana, 14, the downfall or 14 Samaya, if you break the one rule, then as I mentioned before, you might have to receive the Vajrayana vow again, or what you have to do is a Vajrayana vow again, or then maybe you have to receive the one more initiation. Okay, that's what you have to do. And now the one other confusion is that the normal, especially in lots of people get confused that in the Vajrayana, the student and the master, so the Samaya, these are being the relation with the master and student relation. What does the master rule? If the master says something, the student have to do or not. This is the one very big confusion creates especially in the Vajrayana. So it's saying that if the master say very right thing to the student, then student have to try their best to do it. If the master asks you to go and kill the fish, go and kill the deer, you don't have to do that, because now it's going against of the Dharma. When the master tell you something really benefit to you, benefit the whole the sentient being, the purpose, then you have to try your best to do it. Trying your best to do means that you don't have to succeed to doing it. You're trying your best to do it. That's a very important thing. So that's why if you look at the stories, they have the ancient, the Greek story like a Marpa and all these masters. Sometimes they ask the student to do the very heavy task, but the student, they just do it by just doing it, because that time that they have the purpose why they ask the student to do that work. So in the Vajrayana, it's a very important two things are very important. When the master asks us something, so you can raise the question to the master, why we have to do this and that, why. Then master side is a very important to expand that, why that student have to do it. Then it will be very clear. Very clear. So sometimes, sometimes when so that's why sometimes what happens is now the communication gaps happens. Student communication gap. That lots of time it happens. Ancient time there is no problem with the communication gap, because why there is no communication gap? Most of students sit nearby the master. When they're nearby the master, and they have a lot of times, because they don't have the internet, they don't have the television to watch, so they can spend at the time with the master and they communicate, and they can understand each other very well. So that's why. Okay, so the first downfall in the Samaya, it's saying the accusing the master. If you accuse the master, this is the first downfall in the Vajrayana vow. That is a Vajrayana. Accusing the master is normally that is something that when most of time the accusing master is a baseless accusing the master. Okay, that is the first downfall. Then the second is a second downfall is accusing your spiritual parents. Okay, accusing your spiritual friend. Spiritual friend means when you're living in the community. So community and all your friends who are practicing the Dharma together, we call that spiritual friend. Accusing, second downfall. Okay, that is a second downfall when you start to accuse it, no? Because the accusing mainly comes back because sometimes when you look at it, from your perspective, when you look at something from your perspective, when the things is not going as you want, then you start to accuse. So this is the normally comes that when you see something and once you cannot accept it, when the things are not going as you want, then you start to accuse. So that is the second downfall. Okay. Okay. Then the second. Now the third downfall is the not generating the love toward all of the sentient beings. Okay, these rules are the very difficult rules are there. Then if you don't generate the love toward all the sentient beings, again the third rule, you are breaking the third rule. Now, this is the very important. I always tell you that you should generate the love toward all of the sentient beings. It doesn't mean that you have to like, okay? I think I gave you the example. I don't like crocodile. I really dislike the crocodile. That's some, but I cannot say that, oh, I will stop loving crocodile. I cannot say that I will stop generating compassion toward the crocodile. Then I will have a third downfall of the Vajrayana. I don't like it, a crocodile. I cannot help it, no? Because I see that it eats a lot of innocent animals, no? So it really, but I still have a love toward the crocodile. Now you may ask, well, what the difference between the love and the like, no? Love is something like that when you think and when you need the compassion, that is a more love side, okay? Even I want the crocodile not to have the happiness. Even I want the crocodile to be happy. That is a more compassion, okay? Like means if I next to the crocodile, I will never touch the crocodile. No, it's very scary, no? Crocodile, and this comes a like. When you have the something to like, you will have to get more near. That comes a more when you are like or something like. But the compassion is not like that. Compassion is just wishing, more like something wish to someone or that animal to not to have suffering. Okay. That's the thing, okay? So that's a third downfall is when the Vajrayana practitioner, when they say that, oh, I will not generate compassion toward all the animals, then that will be the third, okay? So when we're saying that, oh, now I will not generate the love toward all the animals, then it will be the third downfall, okay? So that's why it's saying that. Now I will give you the one simple example, okay? Simple example. Okay, when like a snake, okay? Some like snakes and some people don't like snakes. Okay, some like crocodile, some don't like the crocodile. Okay, just like that. Okay, when I see the crocodiles are dying, okay, see like a crocodile is dying. If sometimes what you are having the lots of the dislike or something like that, sometimes you may generate a little bit of the joy seeing the crocodile dying. Then you are going against. That means you are not having the compassion. Okay. When you have the compassion to a crocodile, even you should not feel the joy that when the crocodile dying or crocodile having the accidents or like that, okay? Sometimes when you're having the dislike to the someone and the bad thing happened to that person, we will feel the joy, no? That is a very wrong. That means now you are not having the love and compassion toward that person. Am I clear? Okay, these are the very tough, because whether this is from the practicing is not that easy. So that's why I always, yeah. So sometimes that's why because sometimes when you hate someone, so whenever you see that some bad thing happen to that person, you will feel like a joy inside, no? So that is going against of the rules, okay? Because now you are not generating the love and compassion toward all of the sentient beings, no? That is the third downfall, okay? Now the one is just like so now how many we talk about how many downfall? 3, isn't it? 3, no? Now the fourth is that now you cannot go, what the fourth downfall is what they are the Vajrayana 14 downfalls. In the downfalls that you cannot just say that I don't care the downfalls, okay? You have to care a lot of the downfalls. Once you're saying that you don't care the downfall, then again what's happening is that you are having the one other downfall, okay? They are the rules, and you should be very careful for the rules, okay? Then now the fifth one is now bodhicitta practice. Especially for the Vajrayana practitioner, it's a very important to keep on the bodhicitta practice. When you cannot keep the bodhicitta practice, now when you're saying that you don't want to practice the bodhicitta, then it will be the fifth downfall. Okay, so that's why when you practice the Vajrayana practice, the fifth downfall or the fifth rule is practicing the bodhicitta. Practicing the bodhicitta means thinking the benefiting all of the sentient beings, liberating all of the sentient beings from the samsara, liberating all of sentient beings suffering. That is the bodhicitta. Okay, main idea of the bodhicitta is liberating or the benefiting all of the sentient beings, or liberating all of sentient beings from the suffering. Okay, that is the bodhicitta idea. It's a very important, very, very important. So that it is something like a mindset. No, when you wake up the morning, what will you think? How do you set up the day? So first thing is when you get up the morning, you have to think that today the day I will do my best to benefit the people, to benefit the others. Or today, the day, I will do my best to climb toward the all of sentient as much as I can. So that is the setting up the motivation of the day, okay? So you can set up like that in the morning when you go to the bed, and then just rejoice that whatever you did it to the others, okay? We just get to practice the rejoice, okay? That is the setting up the motivation, okay? So that's the thing. So it is a very interesting thing is that there is a very scientific nice research thing proven that the happiness, when you give the more happiness to the others, then you will become the more happy. That is very interesting research on that field. That it is research. So that is the very thing is a bodhicitta is something like that you are thinking to the benefiting the others. It means that you will try your best to give the happiness to the other. It's a very simple. If you give the good smile to the others with the pure motivation, that makes the other very happy. Really, sometimes it's so strange. No, one nice smile can make a very happy, no? Even the unknown person, no? With your pure motivation, okay? Not like the flight attendant, what they smile, okay? They are like a 50% they are fake, okay? They are what they're smiling, even they're fake. Did you notice the one very interesting thing? Genuine smile and the fake smile. If you do the lots of fake smile, you will have a cheek pain. Genuine smile or genuine laugh, you will never have any pain. That's a very interesting. No? When you're doing the pure motivation, when you laugh, I think the muscle will not get the pressure. Cheek muscle. When you're doing a lot of the fake smile, no, you will have a cheek pain. That is, I'm coming from my own experience. No, sometimes I have to do the fake smile. No, sometimes in the gathering, people smile, and sometimes I'm not that. I'm in the mood to smile. No, so I will smile. No, when back. So when a few times, really, I feel some uneasiness on my muscle. So that's why I'm coming back to the point. So what I'm saying is back to my point is that when you're benefiting, you don't have to think that you want to do such a big things to the others. Benefiting with the pure motivation, if you just give the one good smile. And when you say some appreciations of the others thing, no? So others thing, no? So that will be the really appreciation, showing the appreciation to the other effort. That also you're benefiting the others, okay? That also give the others person the lot of the mental the support, no? That's a very important to give the others the mental support, no? So that's also thing, okay? So when someone also, when sometimes in the tough time, when you listen for 5-10 minutes of their problems, even very genuinely, listen attentively with their problem, that's also you're benefiting the others, okay? So that's something, even the 5 minutes, no? So when you can share, sometime in the family, someone having the tough time, no? Tough time, and when you listen to their problems, okay? So family, just listen the tough time and listen their sharing, and as I mentioned, you just laugh with them. It will change the whole environment. These also you have to do with the pure motivation, that is a benefiting the others, okay? So that's a benefiting the others, a bodhicitta practice, okay? That is okay. Okay, what is the thing? Now the another downfall is when you are criticizing, no? Criticizing the Dharma. Criticizing the Dharma is another downfall. Criticizing the Dharma means when you are saying that this Dharma is useless or like that, if you go and criticize the Dharma, then it's not right. Okay, so that is the downfall. Because the Dharma it helps a lot of the people. So you cannot go and criticizing the Dharma. But the one thing is that you should understand the criticizing and the debate is a big difference, okay? Debate comes with the reason and the logical reasons. Criticize, you don't need any logical reasons. You can just say that you just come out your feeling, no? That is a criticize. With the more negative feeling, whatever you're expressing, it comes to the criticize. Whatever you express with the proper logical reasons, then it will come to the debates and the argument is more comes with your feelings, no, not the reasons. So that is the thing, okay, not to criticize Dharma. You can debate with the Dharma. Like a great Nalanda scholar, they debate and sometimes they tell the Buddhas whatever it says, it is not right. It is not right. There is no evidence to prove that. That is a debate. That is a very fine. So when you're just saying that because of something with your negative feeling, when you start to say something, that will become the criticize, okay? So when you criticize someone, that is, you don't need any logical reasons to prove that what you are saying, no? So this is some like a very bad habit of the peoples, no? So once the person, the criticize, they go and criticize everything. No? So that's why that's a downfall. Okay, not to criticize the Dharma. Okay, that is the one other downfall. Okay. Then now the one other downfall is that they're saying not to share the Vajrayana practice who are not ready to accept. Okay, that's a one very important thing. Who are not ripened. Normally we say the ripened, not ripened student, not to share the Dharma. That means sometimes the one very important thing is not to share the Dharma idea when the person is not ready. Person is not ready means you have to see when the Dharma idea is when you're sharing the Dharma, it's a very important see that whether the person is capable to understand, whether the person is interested or not, whether it can help the person or not. That's a very important to see. Sometimes when you share the Dharma and the person, sometimes it will create the hatred or the dislike in their mind. So then we should not share any Dharma idea. So this is something like that. Sometimes you have to look at the situation that whether the Dharma can help the others or whether person is ready to accept the Dharma or whether person are capable to understand the Dharma. So these situations you can share the Dharma. Because sometimes when you share the Dharma, person will feel not very happy, no? So not very happy with the Dharma, so then you should not share the Dharma. So that was the very important one, the message. Because sometimes the Dharma is, sometimes the people, what we do is that, so sometimes the people share a lot of the things that the others are not interested to listen. So that makes some people very bored with the listening that, no? So that's why when we were the kid, when we go to some of the classes, sometimes I used to get the bored, no? So when the teacher went to teach a lot of the Dharma, no, one after another, sometimes I used to get a little bit bored. But that is a class, no, so I cannot stand up and go away, no? In the normal conversation, it's a very important that you have to see the others' interests and the things, okay? But the one thing is very interesting. But sometimes the Dharma advice can bring lots of the changes in their life. It would change your perspective, no? So that's why sometimes it can happen. Just only one word of the Dharma sentence, no? Just one of the Dharma sentence can change that. Oh yeah, so that's why that's why okay, so that so now the third thing is that now that I don't remember how many that now another down 6, 7 or what now?
Now is number 8.
Sorry?
Not share the Dharma was number 7. You are on number 8.
Number 8, okay. Number 8 is humiliating our body. That is a number 8. Okay, humiliating the self. Humiliating the self is that's again the downfall. It's a very important that not to humiliate the self. Humiliating the self means you are feeling like a discouraged. No, life is hopeless. I'm hopeless. You cannot humiliate it. That's a rule. Okay. Because normally it happens very much when your friend saying that, I'm hopeless, nothing can happen to me. Then slowly that is very negative thoughts are very contagious, like COVID. Okay, negative thoughts are very contagious. One person it will catch very easily to other. Okay, if you stay with the 3 people who always think negative thoughts in their mind, after weeks later you will start to think like that person. So that's why the negative thoughts are very contagious. So that's why in saying that don't humiliate the self, that's the rule, okay? Self and the self's body, okay? More it's saying that not to humiliate the self body, but it's saying the self, not humiliate the self. Humiliate the self, we always in the schools and they always are not to teach them not to humiliate the other. In the Vajrayana, it also not to humiliate the self. Not to humiliate, you should not think that it's a hopeless. You should not think that you are not hopeless. You always have to remind that I have a hope. I can overcome anything. I have the Buddha nature that you always have to remind yourself. So that is the positive thought is something like that. When you think today, you think something. Tomorrow you think it again, then slowly, then you will start to feel that really it's really very much, then very much inside. Okay? So that's a very important thing. So yeah. So that's really, I remember the one thing that the one in the that are quite long back. That's a very long back in the South India monastery, maybe 15 years back. There's one small kid, and he could not really study very well. He's very smart, but he always play, and he's very smart and always play. So then the one time I told him that there was a one kid. I just made up the one story. I told him the one story. I will tell how one story. There's a one kid. He's a very small. I think age was 6 or 7. No, I told one story and I told there's a one kid and the was very playful and like that. And the later on study and he becomes so nice. I mean the monk like that. I made the one story. I told him like that story. And then the later on I told him that wow, you sometimes I feel like you looks like that kid. No, appearance look like that. Slowly that kid started to take that story is a real, and he started to believe himself as a really that kid who done very well. Then I saw the big changes in that kid's life, no? Mainly because of he changing his way of the thinking, no? He started the way of his thinking. He changes that. Now he believed that he can do it. So that's a very important. Right now, sometimes not a good thing happens in our life. What will we do? So first, we will humiliate ourselves. We'll say, "Oh I'm hopeless. I can do nothing. Really, life is hopeless. I'm failure. I failed." So this is whether you are success or you are fail. Who decide? Only you can decide. When you think you are success, then you are success. When you think you are fail, you are fail. There is no perfect definition of the success and the fail. If you ask what is a success, if you ask this question, what the definition of success, if you go and ask the person who are the company CEO, doctor, lawyer, the definition will be totally different. For the doctor, the success means that they have to be the doctor. For the lawyer, success means they have to be the lawyer. Okay, so that is the definition. So in the final, the definition of the success and the failure, you decide. When you feel you are success, you are success. When you feel you are failure, you are failure. It doesn't matter that what the people thinks. So that's why in the downfall is in the don't humiliate the self. That means that when you think I'm failure, that's you are humiliating the self. Okay, so that's why it's a very important. That's a downfall rule. Okay, so that's why today we'll stop with that here and the negative thoughts. Okay, that's a very big important. Okay, not humiliating the self. Okay, now I'm tired of the life or don't think like that way, because why I'm saying is that the 4 or 5 weeks, it's a very sad incident happened in the India. One of the Indian lady, she committed the suicide. She committed the suicide. Before committing she is very young, I think age of 21 or 22. Before she was committing the suicide, she made the video. And the video and the circle video and sent that video clip to the husband. And they're saying that she got tired of the life. And please let me go. Very sad. Because there's some quarrel with the family. Then I think the husband told her to go and die, commit the suicide. Go and you die. Before dying, just make the one clip and send it to me. Husband was so in the state of the very angry and they said that. And really the girl took it very seriously. And died with the yummy. But when I saw that, really, I could not continue that. It came in the news. Very sad, no? One very young girl just committed suicide. Even that lady is very unknown to me. In the monastery, I started to ask the monks to say the prayer for that lady. Even that I have no idea who the lady is, but so in the news. But what I'm saying is the main point is what she is saying that she's get tired of the life. Now I'm so tired. I don't want to live on. Because sometimes people get tired, not actually getting the tired with the life, because your way of the thinking, you are humiliating the self. You think that you failed. Actually, no one can fail. No one can fail. Because only you will fail when you think you are failed, then you are failed. Otherwise, when you think you are success, you are success. So that's why the very interesting story that the Miller Rebbe, when he was meditating in the cave, in the Tibetan way, the one story, very interesting story, that he sang the many songs in the empty cave. He used to say that I'm the very happiest person in this world. I'm the happiest person. Even the empty cave, he have nothing, and he sing like that song. And there is one of that time. There is one of the how to say that district magistrate, no, one of the Tibetan, there's a small town. The mayor. I will say the mayor. Okay, town mayor. He read the Mela Rebbe song. He felt that wow, when you're living in the empty cave, really makes you so happy. Then he gave that time he had 100 of the horses, no. 100 of the horse and the thousands of the yaks. Then he gave the 100 of the horse to his friend, 1,000 of the yaks to the relative. Then he went to the mountain, live in the empty cave. He thought then he will be so happy. But living the 1 week, he cannot be the happy in the empty cave. Then he started to feel like he lost nothing. A lot of things. He lost his home. He lost the horse. He lost his yak. He feel very, unhappy in the empty cave. Then he went back. After 1 week, he's staying in the empty cave. Nothing happened, nothing special. Then he went back. When he went back, and he asked his relatives to give him back his horses, give him back the yaks. Then the relatives and his friend told, no, we are not going to give you back. You already gave to us. Then that town mayor become so poor, and he started to beg in that town. Then people asked that mayor, wow, you were the mayor. You was a mayor before. How you become a beggar? So mayor said the one thing, I become the beggar because of Milarepa. Because of Milarepa. Milarepa himself is a beggar, and he made me also beggar. So that is the story, is something like that. Why I'm saying that Milarepa can be very happy in the empty cave. It doesn't mean that everyone can become the empty cave. But the meaning is that the happiness or joy or the success or everything, failure, it's up to you. How you see it. That's the point, okay? So that's why in the downfall is don't humiliate yourself, okay? Whenever you think that you are failure or the life is hopeless or you are tired of life, remember that you have the Vajrayana vow and that you cannot humiliate yourself, okay? Okay, thank you. Today we'll stop here, okay? Thank you. Okay.